Welcome to the International Conference Europe, a knowledge and science bridge towards a global circular economy.
Please stand for the anthem of Europe and the national anthem of Portugal. We will now start the welcome session. Please welcome João Nunes, President and CEO of Secolab, Collaborative Laboratory towards the Circular Economy, who will introduce the event.
Welcome to this international event, Europe, a knowledge and science bridge towards a circular economy. Thank you, Professor Manuel Heitor, for the invitation to organize this event. Thank you for your physical presence here. Thank you for your hard work for science and people that work in science. Thank you for the effort for the interior regions of Portugal. Not easy a political example for Portugal. In fact, Professor Manuel Heitor is a political example for the world. Professor Ana Brunhosa is not present here today, but will be tomorrow. The second day, a special word of acknowledgement to her. She's an important part of this project. It's a pleasure and honor to welcome here today Dr. Isabel Damasceno and all of the CCDRC collaborators. Secolab, Collaborative Laboratory towards a Circular Economy, is a real example of the collaboration between science and industry. I would like to thank you all Secolab's associates present here today. One special word for the Secolab's team. You are fantastic. A special thank you to all the scientific committee, speakers, and academic institutions present here today. And a big thanks for everyone in the audience. We are here today not for Europe, but for the world. for the people and for the power of knowledge and science to solve problems and social challenges, break culture and physical boundaries. We need a more cooperative Europe. We need a more global Europe. We need a more green Europe. We need a Europe without borders. The problem in an international country is an European problem. Europe must exchange its knowledge and capacities at international level and create strong bridges and other geoeconomic regions, in particular with Latin America and Africa. Circular economy is one of the most important challenges of current or today and for current generation and future generations. We need to give young generations a voice and a use there in help to and support the urgent transition to a circular economy. It's not fair to go on in this state. We need more action and cooperation. We need more science and knowledge. Finally, I would like to invite to come here João, Lourdes, Jorge, Filipa, Sandrina, come here, and Dulce, come here. And also, in other side of the screen, the scientific committee, Ana Cristina, Beatriz, Júlia, Mica, and Paulo Ferrão, joined with me. Come here. Here. They are the face and the team that have made in this event possible. I hope this conference will be successful and that I will mark an important step towards a circular economy. It's not impossible. A global cooperation towards a circular economy based on knowledge and science. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are honored to welcome Dr. Isabel Damasceno, President of the Centro Portugal Region Coordination and Development Commission.
Dear Portuguese Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, dear Secolab representatives, the Portuguese Colab for the Circular Economy, dear representatives from the knowledge and science systems, dear participants. First of all, let me start by saying that it's an honor to be in this event, discussing such an important issue with entities, experts, stakeholders and participants from around the world in the context of the Portuguese presidency of the Council of the European Union. Global challenges require global cooperation and moments such as this one. As you all know, circular economy has become one of the buzzwords that took over our political discourse in recent years. It gained real relevance as we became more and more aware of the urgency of changing our global production and consumption habits and of adopting a life cycle approach to our global economy. The way we have been following, making and throwing things away at a global scale has shown flaws that we are not now able to identify and question. Circular economy goes beyond questioning this systemic flaw. It proposes a way out. For Centro Region, since 2014, circular economy has been one of the main strategic frameworks for our regional development in the context of our regional smart specialization strategy. In order to address the current and future needs of the territory that are related to the management of our resource and our economic and social development. Central Region has been making the effort to apply this approach at our scale and to continue the transition process already underway. In 2017, Portugal approved a national action plan for the transition to a circular economy, aligned with the European Green Deal. Following this plan, Portuguese regions developed regional agendas for the circular economy. These agendas symbolized our formal commitment in making our transition to a new social and economic paradigm. In Central, we defined and we will continue to work on updating it in cooperation with our regional stakeholders. Looking forward, our regional agenda will continue to be a strategic framework, a pathway. As Centre for Regional Coordination and Development Commission, we will continue our efforts of engaging in international networks and projects that are dedicated to the promotion of circular economy. We participated in Horizon 2020 Project Screen, in a joint research central pilot dedicated to circular manufacturing, in a pilot action promoted by DigiRegio on circular procurement. Currently, we still are coordinating the Central Green Deal on public procurement, as well as our institutional pact for the valorization of circular economy in Central Region. We are also part of the Interreg Europe Project Replace, that is dedicated to the support of regional circular economy policy actions. As a region, Central proudly hosts Secolab, the Portuguese collab for the circular economy, that is formally committed with promoting the transition of Portugal into a circular economy paradigm. We also host many companies, projects, as well as recognize R&D and innovation centers that confirm that the region has relevant knowledge-based capabilities that can serve as a possible lever for the further development of the circular economy. This is our starting point for the journey ahead. In March 2020, a new European Circular Economy Action Plan was approved. At the moment, the European Green Deal is presented as a key element in the overall European recovery process ahead. Closing loops, fostering sustainable job creation, and taking further steps in direction of the circular economy is clear the way forward for Upper and for Central Region. For all of this to work, interregional cooperation is needed. May this event confirm the potential of discussing these global challenges together. I would like to wish you all a very fruitful event. Thank you all for listening.
It is our honor to introduce Professor Manuel Leitor, Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education of the Portuguese government.
Muito bom dia a todos aqui presentes e àqueles que não estão aqui presentes. Good morning to everyone. Let me start first and foremost with acknowledging the local organization of this conference, which, as you know, has been included within the set of events organized under the Portuguese presidency of the European Union. João Nuno and his team has become known not only in the center of Portugal, but throughout the country and Europe for organizing many interesting initiatives, particularly in circular economy, and this conference is certainly the result of their increasing engagement in European networks, but also in global networks, engaging companies, researchers, local governments, regional governments, in order to promote what today we call by circular economy. And first and foremost, I'd like definitely to acknowledge all the work which has been done here over the last 30 years to achieve the results where we are today. 30 years ago, essentially, were very much the beginning of the scientific principles which led in some zones of the globe, particularly in Europe and in Denmark in particular, the ideas which a few years later has become the scientific principles of industrial ecology. I remember that the journal Industrial Ecology, and today we will have one of the editors, appeared in about 20 years ago, essentially based on stories which were particularly important in identifying the possibility of decreasing waste and to evolve in the progressive and continuous engagement of materials in a process that years later has been called a circular economy. By that time, the key issue was also the development of modeling and fundamental knowledge to really assess and evaluate the context up to which we could believe on the idea of circular economy. More than 20 years have passed. The concept has been enlarged worldwide, from the south to the north, involving many different areas of activity, particularly the agribusiness sector, natural products, and many stories, particularly in Brazil and in Amazonia in particular, has been known to use and extrapolate the principles of circular economy, but also in many other different areas, from civil construction, the chemical industry, and all of them are very much associated with local contexts. The idea to bring certainly different type of economic activities, different actors, but also local authorities has become critical to make sure that we really can use the principles which have been developed over these decades on circular economy to really change the way we behave, the way we produce goods, but also the way we have a different pattern of the quality of life. And at the end, circular economy is about that, is definitely a technical issue, but more than that, is a cultural setting to behave in different ways. And as any other cultural setting, it needs a social context, which certainly rely every day in educating more people, but in having examples, good examples, which show the practice and how to apply the principles of circular economy. And this is a challenge for all of us here in the center of Portugal, but in any single European region and at the world level. And therefore, this type of events is particularly important to exchange ideas, to exchange practices, and particularly certainly to focus on the scientific principles, because we know more and more that we need new knowledge to better advance and to further evolve in the ideas of circular economy. But we also need what has been done in the technical literature by institutional innovation. We know that most of our traditional economic sectors in institutional setting is not adequate to this challenge of circulating goods and decreasing or avoiding waste. Again, from civil construction to the agribusiness sector, to chemical industry, or to any other type of activity, the idea of circular economy do involve collaborative networks, very much engaged in processes of institutional innovation, which we know are rather difficult to adopt. And again, here, the Collaborative Lab on Circular Economy is an example of such a collaborative network which becomes critical for the design of circular economy to be a reality. And this is important because, and has been selected this topic within the Portuguese presidency of the European Union, because of its 5 main targets. First and foremost, to set up a period of action towards the European New Green Deal and therefore green transition, making use of the opportunities of the digital transition that more and more we are all aware, but at the same time to build an European context which is more resilient and therefore more critically autonomous. And again, these 3 concepts, the green transition, the digital transition with an increasing autonomy for Europe, means also for European regions, are certainly very much associated with the idea of a circular economy. More than these 3 principles, the Portuguese presidency set also other 2 important issues for Europe, being social and being global. And again, we note today that circular economy needs a social context, engaging every single citizen in a region in a process which again is always a social process, which should also be done in a way to decrease inequalities, which we know still exist in our societies, and therefore circular economy is also very much in the center of the objectives of the Portuguese presidency of the European Union. Last but not least, the idea of Europe as a global player, also with increasing linkage throughout the world, in particular for North-South, South-North cooperation as particularly important, and I recognize the work that will be presented here also by colleagues and its stakeholders in Brazil and in Africa, and also the agreements which will be signed during this conference for building up partnerships between European partners, Brazilian and South African partners in terms of exploiting and using the concepts, but also the practice of circular economy. But these conferences are also used, certainly, to exchange ideas, to bring people together, particularly in these times where we live out of presential meetings, certainly to provoke a digital dialogue between partners in several parts of the world. But there are also and should be used to set up challenges and to identify challenges for the years to come. And I would like to present to the set of actors here, particularly to the leadership of João Nunes and the Collaborative Lab on Circular Economy, a specific challenge, which is very much to build an atlas of critical results of circular economy through examples. We know that either here and in many of the partners associated with this conference, there are important projects with key results from different areas, again, from civil construction to agro-business sector, from the chemical industry to the aerospace industry. And will be, in my view, particularly important to promote an atlas of examples of results of specific projects which can be extrapolated worldwide and used as a reference for the use and the mobilization of social actors. These examples could be set up from a technical pattern in different areas of expertise, but also in a social context or in an institutional context by giving examples of different institutions, bringing together their resources to implement circular economy. Certainly, again, they happen very much in specific regional context because of the proximity of factors, of activities, essentially production activities, and the use and reuse of waste in a complex diversity of different actions. It will be important to map those regions, to map those examples, and through the digital social media that today we use so much, circulate these examples in a very systematic and continuous way. I'm sure that throughout this conference, several examples of the practice of circular economy will be presented, and I would like very much to challenge you to, certainly under this CECOLAB initiative, to start divulgating more and more good practices and good examples of circular economy as a way also to serve as education material to educate citizens at large and students in particular, but also to facilitate companies at large, regions specifically, to use these examples in their own example. We know that each case, it's one different case, each institution is one different institution, but the idea to learn from each other, to exchange experiences, rely very much on the existence of a mapping, of an atlas, of good examples and good practices of circular economy. And again, by looking at good practices, I'm sure that we also are mapping the new knowledge and the research and development pattern we need to follow in the years to come to make sure that we can always improve the performance of circular economy. And it's also important to map failures, because to have good examples, we know that circular economy along these last 20 years, there are a number of projects we fail. And if we really understand the failures, we can definitely avoid further failures and try to improve the patterns of circular economy. A final sentence for the European context, which has become a reality since the last few months. On the 2nd of February, we launched Horizon Europe, the world's largest research investment fund for research and innovation throughout Europe. The new calls for Horizon Europe will appear very soon, and definitely, we certainly is my obligation to call the attention of everyone here and throughout Europe to definitely promote more and more the participation of every single region in the framework provided by Horizon Europe. But certainly, Horizon Europe opens a new patterns for collaborative research and innovation, which will gain always from synergies with other types of funding and programs, particularly the structural funding throughout Europe, and we are in a region which is very well dedicated and engaged in the use of structural funds. And certainly we know that a big challenge in this new framework program 2021-27 is to build synergies between the centralized funds like Horizon Europe and decentralized funds, particularly through the structural funds for the different regional contexts throughout Europe. And the idea to don't leave no one behind and to bring to the center of the circular economy those which typically have been in the margins of this discussion is particularly important in the combination of the different types of fundings. Last but not least, certainly we are throughout Europe designing and starting implementing the Next Generation EU program, so-called Recovery and Resilience Funds. And again, the opportunities certainly in Portugal, but throughout Europe, for the practical implementation of circular economy in real daily projects which will change our daily lives by increasing our economic patterns, but also addressing social context and further developing institutional collaborative networks will be certainly central to many recovery plans throughout Europe. Again, the synergies and the combination between national funds, European funds, centralized and decentralized funding towards the capitalization of our firms, but also the recovery of our societies will certainly be the big challenge, which we know will only get to the carbon neutrality targets of 2050 if, in fact, circular economy, it is not just a question of being a subject of intellectual and scientific reflection, but is put into practice. That is the reason why I come back to the idea of building up an atlas of good examples, good practices, and also mapping of failures, so that we can every day use that mapping and that atlas to make better examples and better projects making use of circular economy ideas. Thank you very much, and again, a special thank to João Nunes, to the coordinator of this conference, to bringing together the topic throughout Europe. Thank you very much.